Hi, everybody. Welcome. Today is going to be an amazing time with our interviewee today, and we have Sam with us, Sam Das. And the reason I'm having an interview with him is because I have gone through his program, and it has been really amazing and life changing. So Sam is currently associated with a leading IT technologies organization responsible for culture and communication. He is also a facilitator for sessions with themes around like creative storytelling, team management, strategy sessions, etc. Besides work, he is currently partners with the leadership of a worldwide reformation movement around life and spirituality. As a certified life coach and speaker, he is helping thousands of people around the globe to break their limiting beliefs to a life of freedom and abundance. So here we have Sam Das with us, and I'm so excited to have a chat today with him because. As I said, I've gone through his coaching program. He's amazing life coach, has helped me a lot in organizing stuff in my life and putting things together and having a full vision of what I'm going to do, how I'm going to reach my goals. Just an amazing encourager and has helped me. And couple of things that we've been doing, I have been putting up in my job list in my life has been almost achieved by now. So yeah, let's talk to Sam today and find out what exactly he does, and let's know more deeper about his life coaching sessions, etc. So hi Sam.
Hi, Bernal. Thank you for that introduction. Yeah, it's been quite a journey ever since I started, and the major thing has been the testimonies that I keep receiving. That's what actually keeps me going. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very
So
much for having me here, and let's make this a fantastic working session. Yeah.
surely. So yeah, Sam. So I've gone through your coaching. It was a 10-week coaching, and it has helped me so much now. Um, the vision boards and goal setting and all that stuff. I have a path now. I have a focus. Uh, Scripture also says, put things down for those things to manifest in your life. And I'm seeing the results of the coaching now. A lot of things are falling in place. So tell me something more, about how you got into this and what are you doing at present, how this really scientifically helping people to achieve their life dreams, goals, etc.
Right. Yeah. So as you meet people, and especially in this day and age of Google and the information is everywhere, and you see things in Facebook and other social media platforms that everybody on their page they are actually showing that they are leading a much better life than I am. So everybody wants to go to the next level. Everybody wants to become a better version of themselves. So it's really interesting that they all say that they want to become a better version of themselves, but when I ask them how, so people are a little confused on how to get there. So what I typically tell people is just hold on, just stop your life, stop your thinking for a moment and come with me. So the first thing that I do is just for some time imagine that you and I are meeting. Which is your favorite coffee place, Varun?
uh, we have here Starbucks.
Starbucks. Okay, you and
Yeah.
I are meeting. So this is typically the conversation that I have. After 5 years, you and I are meeting. Okay, and without making any change in your life from now, and continuing to do what you do, what is 5 years from now going to look like? So this is what I asked them. So and people are slightly confused in terms of their response, because they keep thinking, what will, okay, my goal is to become, okay, I am right now at a manager level. I want to become maybe director or a senior director in 5 years. But then I ask them, okay, is that all? Tell me more, tell me more. So I keep digging. So they can't get beyond their current role. So then I
Exactly.
probe them a little bit more. So what about your, after 5 years, what is your health factor going to look like? Because people normally think, this is how they are wired. People normally think, oh, I'm going to get 5 years older. That means I will be closer to an older age. That means I will get lifestyle diseases. Maybe I will not be healthy. Maybe I will not. So similarly on their wealth, okay, this is maybe double the salary that I'm earning, not more than that. How about your relationships? Okay, it will be okay. And how about your love life? This is something most people don't want to talk about. How about your spirituality, your connection with somebody who is bigger than you and greater than you? How is that? People don't want to discuss that. And then, because there are too many taboos around that. And then in terms of your hobbies, and in 99% of the cases, what I've found is the hobbies have been put to rest. People wanted to become a guitarist. People wanted to become a artist. People wanted to even go on stage and narrate poems, but they've forgotten. Even baking, people have forgotten those, because those are like broken dreams because of the work and because of the current life. They are not able to do that. But then I start sharing with them, what if I told you that there is a better way? Yeah,
Exactly. Absolutely.
that's how typically the conversation starts.
I think that's how your first conversation with me also was.
Yes.
So I remember you asking me all this stuff, and
Correct.
I was all everything in my mind was in chaos, and you helped me to put things together, and now I know where I'm going. Yeah. Carry on.
Yeah, it's all about perspectives, Banal, because one of my favorite authors in the early years when I was learning more about life was Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits. I'm sure most of our viewers and our friends around the world would have read that book. In one of the chapters, there is a story about how the paradigm shift, because constantly we are judging, constantly we are putting things in boxes, people in boxes, situations in boxes. So this reminds me of the story in the subway in New York one afternoon. If you have seen the subways in the US, most of the time, as soon as people enter the subway carriage, they get into their own zone. Either they are on reading a newspaper or drawing, or and nowadays mostly it's people on their phones and iPads. So everybody is in their own zone. So it was a Sunday afternoon, so the crowd was less. The carriage was completely silent. At a particular station, a man enters with 2 kids. So as soon as he enters, he goes into the corner, finds a seat, and he puts his head between his hands, and he just sits like this. At the same time, both the boys are running crazy around the carriage, pulling the newspaper from people's hand, pulling pens out of people's hands, and shouting and creating havoc over there. And what happens is, slowly people start getting irritated. So this lady comes across this gentleman whose hands are like this. He's sitting like this. He said, "Excuse me, sir, can you please ask your children to behave themselves?" And he says, "Can you just tell them something so that they can calm down?" So he just looks up to the lady and he says, "I'm also wondering what to tell them, because just a couple of hours ago, their mother passed away in the hospital."
Oh.
The entire carriage became absolutely silenced, because all the time we are thinking of something about a person, whereas when you get to know their story, the entire thing shifts. So that's a paradigm shift which keeps on happening constantly, even as we get to know and stop judging people. And on the one side we are judging people, on the other side we are comparing. So when I ask people, what do you want to be? I want to be like Michael Jordan. I want to be like Michael Jackson. I want to be like somebody. So they always want to compare themselves with somebody who they can look up to. At the same time, they're judging others who they don't want to become. Yeah.
Agree to it. How important is life coaching, do you think, for people? I mean, I know how important it is, but just for the viewers,
Yeah.
why it is important and how important you think it is?
Yeah. So typically what happens is, like I mentioned, everybody wants to get from level 1 to level 4 or 5 in the coming years, but really nobody knows how to get there. So personally, what I believe is everybody needs a coach, because what happens is over the period of time, we've been handed down a lot of programs into which we get into. And these programs govern us to such an extent that we can't think out of that. It reminds me of this story about on Thanksgiving night. So the husband and wife are preparing, that turkey. But in this case, they were making lamb roast. So the lady was preparing the lamb roast. Just before putting it in the oven, she cuts off the end of the lamb roast. So the husband asks, honey, I've been noticing that every time you put this lamb roast into the oven, you're cutting the end off. Why do you do that? She said, I don't know. I've always seen my mom do it.
Mm-hmm.
So husband says, I think it's high time we get an answer. Why do we cut the end of the lamb roast? So they call up the mom on Zoom. So mom is as usual sitting and knitting something. And then so she asked her daughter, honey, what's so urgent? No. We are preparing this lamb roast. And my husband wants to know, why do we cut off the end? So the mother says, oh, actually, I also don't know. I've seen my mother do it. So they said, we have to get, so they add in the grandmother. Grandmother is somewhere else in the garden. And she is very excited she loves Zoom. So she actually gets onto the Zoom call and she says, again, the husband asks the question, Granny, this is going on we want to know, why do you cut off the end of the lamb roast? She said, I don't know about you, why you do it. But in our days, the ovens were much smaller. so we've gone into so much of this program that we can't think outside of it.
Absolutely.
So we just keep doing what others are doing. Okay.
Yeah.
Like in India, for example, unless you're a doctor or you're a lawyer or an engineer, and nowadays mostly engineers, you're nobody in life. No, people have forgotten about the fine arts. People have forgotten about music. People have forgotten about poetry. People have forgotten about journalism. People have forgotten so many things. But because people have been doing this for ages, long years, ever since the Industrial Revolution, we continue doing the same thing over and over again because it's all part of the program.
Yeah. Absolutely. Like we kind of become slave to a program, and because of the program, we miss out on our dreams, our goals, and all that, and we just become so mechanical in our life. Yes. So I remember, because when we were doing the coaching, we were setting goals and we were looking at time, and initially I thought I don't have time for all these things. But when you started really coaching me and trying to make me analyze, and I saw that I have so much of time now. So time management is also a part of how you are coaching and all that. Can you speak about a little bit of time management and all this stuff?
Sure. So before time management, I want to touch a little bit about goal setting, because this is something actually is being taught in corporates. It's being taught in schools, and people are making a lot of money out of it. But actually, that goal setting doesn't work. A lot of people around the world, even in religion also, they say, oh, 31st night is coming, let's put down our resolutions for New Year. And one of the best most commonly used resolution is weight loss and diet. So 31st night goes with the party, and then we come to 1st January, 2nd January, 3rd January, the gyms are full. The dietitians' diaries and calendars are full. But come February 2nd week, typically a 6-week period, that's a rolling 6-week period, people have gone and taken down their trackers, they've torn up their trackers, because what has happened? They're not able to keep up their commitments. Because what I say, it's like a whirlwind. We are so busy in that rat race, which is like a whirlwind. The whirlwind comes and takes up all your time, all your focus, all your commitments. Oh, that extra PowerPoint presentation. Oh, looking at after going running and immediately to just to see how I can help. We are all kind of victim hunters. We want to help and become famous. How can I help this person? How can I help that person? The church pastor who's so busy throughout the week, he just looks for another opportunity to go and somewhere. And whereas instead of spending time and investing time on himself, so that's what I've seen. And these goals don't really work. So in our what I do normally is to have an outcome-based plan, and this outcomes, what we typically do is based on your personality, who you are really. Then we look at the foundational codes, which are like baselines, which are what is the culture, what are the values that you actually imbibe in you, what is that one thing which is like rock solid foundation for you, which cannot be moved. And then we also look at the limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs is a big player in this, and it constantly plays on the mind. I've seen in religious circles that they normally blame it on the devil. That this is the devil doing this, the devil is doing the devil. But actually, it is our thought processes which actually limits us, completely limits us. And and based on throughout history, we have learned that once you grow up with these limiting beliefs, you can never break them. They are part of you. So a person who is aiming or his New Year resolution that he wants to take part in one of the big marathons that is taking place. So he goes on day 1, day 2 for little jogging, then the hamstring string muscle is torn and finished. Then that voice comes into your head and saying, bullshit, you can't do it. You can't do it. That hamstring muscle is so important in your life. We just get stuck over there. Or a person who wants to become a dancer, keeps practicing, but because of some situation, he will just keep it and shelf it. And we've been taught from a child, oh, these are difficult. Oh, you should not go into this expensive hotel. You should not buy that expensive shirt. Why? Because it's expensive. People have these limiting beliefs in their head, which are kind of governing them and keeping them down. They're almost like shackles on the feet of people. So, but we have a very systematic and scientific process in which we can break these limiting beliefs. Every negative thought, there is a systematic and scientific process how we can break it down, look at it, review it, and then completely convert it into empowering codes. So we call them E-codes. And once we make our goals and our outcomes based on these three, your baselines, your codes, your empowering codes, as well as your the outcome that you're actually looking at it, and now that your limiting beliefs are broken, you can just do whatever you want to in life.
Absolutely. And I just love when you said everyone needs coaching, and I agree with it, because the best of best Olympic athletes, the best athletes out there, or any person out there, we will always see that they are mentored, they are coached. No doubt they are the topmost athlete in Olympics, but they will still have a coach who will always guide them and correct them, all these things. So I really believe in life coaching, because there's so many things in our life that sometimes we don't put it on paper. We don't focus on that, and it's so vital to focus on all that stuff. For example, person, as you said, wants to run a marathon, and he just wants to jump into it, and then he gets injuries and all that stuff. But if it is systematically put, like how you said, it's scientifically put, he will never have injuries, and he'll be able to complete his goal of running a marathon. So yeah, I think it's so important for goal setting, and you need somebody to help you in this journey of yours.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
and
like what he said about the. I just want to clarify on that. He will have injuries in this process.
yeah,
There will be setbacks, but there are ways to come out of it.
yes.
And since you mentioned Olympics, I am reminded of that every Olympics, after every event, there is a group of reporters always standing. And
Mhm.
people like Usain Bolt or any of these big names, the first question that they ask the person who's won is, were you nervous? It's all a game of the mindset. Now, if you really analyze it, what are the signs of nervousness? Heart is beating very fast. Your hands become very clammy, and you are visualizing the future that you may lose. That is nervousness. But what is the response of these athletes when they come out? They say, "No, I was excited."
Mhm.
So, what are the conditions of excitement? Again, heart is racing, hands get clammy, and I visualize the future that I'm going to win. So it is the exact same thing that goes on in the body, but in the mind, it's completely different. So that's why I say it's a very scientific process. So
Absolutely.
if you can break those limiting beliefs, you can achieve anything. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, and uh, so true, because it all starts from the mind,
Mhm.
and if the mind is in chaos, your whole life is chaos. And
Right.
what I like about your coaching is you allow the person to first arrange things
Mhm.
in the mind,
Right.
and I've seen that the moment things started getting in order. Like, first I was like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this, I need to do that,
Yeah.
but it was not in order. So
Mhm.
when I want to do it, how I'm going to do it, that was all in chaos.
Right.
And you helped me to literally put things down on paper, by putting things first here in order. So that's really a good point that you're making. And it all started from something that you spoke about, you taught me on microcosm.
Yes. Yes.
So would you
I
like to
remember.
speak on that microcosm?
Yes. So this was one of the things that I did with another person, and then I also shared with you, and it really worked wonders for you. So the other person, he was also a very, very busy person. He was a very senior person in an organization. He was a senior director actually. And whenever I talked to him, he used to say, "I don't have time. I don't have time." So I asked him, "How do you start your day? Let's not go through the day because you're a very busy person. I know. How do you start your day?" He says, "As soon as I wake up, I check my mobile because he's got a office mobile and his mails are there in the mobile, and his office team chat is also there. So Microsoft Teams is so convenient that it comes on your mobile also. So he wakes up to see, first thing he's looking for is there any problem? And then that actually sets him up for the day, and he goes straight into the bathroom, gets ready, and then he's out for work. I said, anything else in your ritual? No. In between, I have my breakfast, and sometimes I don't take it if I'm on calls and then go for. I was thinking, what is going on? I said, then who settles your room? Sometimes it's the maid who comes and does it. And I said, can we do one small little change? And I asked him. Of course, his room was very nice and clean. And I said, can you, as soon as you wake up first thing in the morning, can you, instead of looking at the phone, settle your bed? So he said, yeah, I can do that. I know how to do it. I said, okay, do that. So he started settling his bed. Once he did his bed, he noticed that the towel was just lying on the chair on the sofa next to him, and then there was his desk was in a complete disorder. So he just started settling his desk. Then he opened his cupboard to actually take out his clothes for the day. He noticed his cupboard was in a mess, so he started settling that. So typically, when the maid came in a little later in the day, she found that everything is already done in this room, so she has more time. So she starts cleaning up the hall room. Okay. And while she's cleaning the hall room, his wife, who comes back from work a little later, she comes and sees the house is looking so nice and modern. So she also doesn't have anything to do. So she starts cooking very tasty dishes. So she's got a lot of time. And along with it, so in just by settling the bed, so much has already happened. And now with his desk and environment being so clear, he's able to think more clearly. And he's able to do things more productive. The time that he's usually normally spends 2 hours on a particular activity, he's able to finish it within half an hour. So his colleagues ask him, what is the secret? So he tells him, this is what. So they also start doing that. What happens is the productivity of the team has increased. So the manager asks, what happened? So this person said, I have a coach who advised this. So the manager also starts doing that. So what has happened is just by one person impacting the microcosm, doing very little things on a daily basis, he has impacted the whole team and an organization.
Yeah.
So that is the same thing I tried with you. And yours was taken to the next level, where your group of people started experiencing miracles.
Miracles, yeah. Because especially people's finances started they start seeing financial miracles just by doing small microcosmic things. Just by going for a walk, putting their health in place, just doing small things, they start seeing miracles. Because I think it's like a web that we are living in, and everything is connected. Right. And the small things that we do is influencing the bigger things that we want in our life. And I literally saw the practicality of that. And out of your coaching, in my church and my organization, I started seeing miracles in people's life, financial miracles, so many other miracles. Things started falling in order. Just by cleaning up my room, just by putting my bed in order. And that was one amazing thing that I saw. Another thing I also saw in the program, I noticed, was a kind of an awareness came on. Like I remember you told me, look into your room, what needs to be changed. And I said, there's nothing need to be changed. And then you took me more deeper into it. And then I realized that there's so much needs to be changed. And a kind of an awareness came on when now I know what really is missing in my life, what really I need to work in my life. Because the program that you took me, it's so scientific. You made me answer very, very simple tests. And it made me check what kind of personality I am, be aware of what kind of personality I am, be aware of actually where I really need to invest more energy in my life. And that was so important, because there were things in my life and the areas of my life which I was not aware of, and which I never thought that I need to cater to it. But when you started coaching me, now I realized there are so many areas that I have neglected in my life. And that was one of the most beautiful thing that you brought in the course of the coaching, in my coaching. And now I'm aware where I really need to invest, like relationships, and sometimes being a pastor, being in spirituality is like we are trying to always fix things externally. But there are so many things in our own house, in our own family, in our own home, we need to really cater to and give attention to. And so, one of the amazing things was that awareness.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Awesome. So another thing is about the time management. As I said, that was one of the things I really loved. How to put things weekly basis, how to put daily basis, how to divide the time. We want to speak about time management a bit.
This is what I always tell people, that you can never manage time, but you can manage yourself. So in this day and age, we have a lot of awesome tools, both online and offline. So we have online, we have calendars and reminder services, and we also have our mobiles, which has calendars and reminder services. So just trying to get it organized, because everyone has been given the same 24 hours. We see some people are able to achieve so much more, and sometimes we feel that we are stuck. So a couple of things what I normally share with people is how to actually manage your calendars. And that is one. And number two is setting boundaries for ourselves. Sometimes we definitely need the me time. What happens is, in this rat race, as people are going through life, in whatever way they are employed in or they are busy with, they are just so focused in that race that they forget about everything else in life. So how can we get everything together? For that, one of the main things that is required, like Vernal, you mentioned that you love to walk alone on the beach. That actually clears your mind. So what really works for you? What is that me time? That time alone with yourself, where you just need things to organize things in your head. Once you get that, then everything else will be taken care of. Like I mentioned earlier, most of the time we are like victim hunters, always looking around. Where can I find a victim? Where can I be? Because I want to help. I want to help. I want to help. But that's not always the case. You also need to help yourself. Self-help is one of the least and the most ignored thing. Not least,
Yeah,
it's the most ignored thing. People are willing to spend the hundreds and thousands of dollars on their houses, on their cars, and their clothes and everything else, but they don't want to spend a single cent on developing themselves.
yeah,
The self-love is completely gone. People don't want to invest in themselves at all. On their health, they don't want to invest. On their wealth, in fact, investing in these areas will actually open up your avenues for other things. So
absolutely.
how you spend your time is most critical, very, very critical. Yeah. And
Absolutely.
I'm so glad that one of the aspects of this coaching is to look at that, how we can manage our time and break it down into pieces, do the small things which will actually benefit in reaping a huge reward at the end. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also, I love the session which you had where you literally brought me to a place to recognize why I do what I do.
Mhm.
That was really amazing because, like, it gave me a boost, a drive to do things. Because many a times we just do things, but we don't know why we do it.
Mhm.
So there were around 6 things that I had to put down. And now when I realize it, I'm doing it because I want to be consistent.
Yeah.
I'm doing this because I want to be disciplined.
Mhm.
I'm doing this because, and the test that you gave is so amazing that literally allows me to know so clearly now why I should do certain things in my life. So that was amazing. So you want to talk about that a bit?
Yeah, this is
The,
what I call your baselines. Baselines
mm,
are your foundational values, and
mm,
they're really your answer to your why you do what you do. And sometimes we are so much into doing that we forget our why statement.
mm,
It's very important to have your why right in front of you for everything. So many
mm,
times we see people in our lives, both in the spiritual side and in the corporate side, that there are some people who always get what they want. It's like they have the Midas touch. Whatever they touch becomes gold. And it's very frustrating and annoying.
yeah,
And the reason is their goals are completely aligned to their baselines.
yeah,
They want to trample in anybody and go over. They work hard, they really slog it, and they go over everybody else. And sometimes we wonder why it's not happening for me, because what we need to understand is many times our goals, our decision making is not aligned to our baselines of who we are. It's not aligned to our empowering codes. how we are coded. The limiting beliefs are still there at the back of the head. You want to write a book, the moment you sit with the pen and paper or in front of the computer, you sit, write a few lines, and then that voice comes in your head. You can't do it. You can't do it. You're not a writer. This one is better than you. That one is better than you. Ruskin Bond is better than you. This one is better than you. So you just stop there. You are frozen.
Yeah.
You just can't move because those limiting beliefs are actually holding us back. I keep talking about this example. I remember when we were small, um, we used to go for the circus every winter. The circus used to come to our town, and we used to go and see that. And it was really intriguing to see the elephant, such a huge animal, and it's so strong and so powerful, so majestic, and they come and do. But when you go outside, you see where all the animals are kind of kept. And it's very interesting to see the elephant actually tied with just a coconut rope with a peg on the ground. I always used to think,
Yeah.
how is it possible? And then we
Mm-hmm.
see instances on television, these stories where people are showing that the elephant is completely kicking down buildings and the vehicles, 2, 3 vehicles in one shot. And it's such a strong and majestic. What happens is these elephants, when they are born, when they're the small babies, they're tied with metal chains, which
Mm-hmm.
with a solid concrete peg in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And over a period of time, as they are growing, they think that whatever's tied to them will tie them down. They can't move.
Wow.
And as they are growing, even a very old and strong elephant, they will not be able to move because their mind, they have been programmed in that sense, in that way, that they cannot do if something is tied on their leg. So eventually, if you see the circus elephant, they're just tied with a coconut rope.
Mm-hmm.
So their mind has completely chained them down,
Mm-hmm.
completely chained down. Their dreams, their hopes, their ambitions, their potential is completely down just by one coconut rope. And this is exactly what happens to us. The
Yeah.
system, the program, our religious teachings, everything has chained us down. That you are
Exactly.
poor, you're simple, you're humble, don't get over it. If you want to dream big, you're being arrogant. These kind of things are there in the mind. So that is
Awesome.
why we see that people who are successful are only a very small percentage. And that is one of my goals, actually, to help the people understand, open their eyes and see the potential they have inside of them.
Absolutely. So, Sam, you shared with me some of, what kind of, before I speak about that, what kind of or what type of people do you coach mostly, in which area they are in?
So the system that we have is, I think this works 100% every time across all categories of people. Currently, my main focus is in the executive level, but
Mm-hmm.
this is open for everyone, whether it be a school-going young kid or an office-going or even a retired person.
Mm-hmm.
Because many people who are retired, I'm seeing that they are getting completely frustrated and depressed. Many of them are going into depression primarily because they don't know what to do beyond their work, because the work has kind of programmed them so much that as soon
Mm-hmm.
after retirement, they think this life is over for them. They can't see
Mm.
beyond that. So actually, this program is for anybody and everybody, because
Okay.
again, like I mentioned earlier, everybody in life needs a coach, and
Absolutely.
we are here to help and get them out of it.
Coming to the question which I wanted to ask, you shared some amazing life transformations of people that you have coached. You want to share about some of these testimonies?
Yes, we can definitely. Most of the testimonies are there on my website. I will share the link
Yeah.
here. So we had this person in the US, and this lady she reached out to me saying that her life is going downhill. And she was one person who was like extremely joyful and all the time. She was she was kind of the joy bomb, if you would want to
Mm-hmm.
call it. And when I spoke to her, she was completely depressed, and she had started seeing the psychiatrist. And every time she went to see the psychiatrist, her medication were every time getting on a higher dosage, which I did not really like to hear, because knowing that person. And the level of the depression, she was an animal lover, level of the depression, last 1 year, the
Wow.
dog had not been given a grooming or even a bath.
Oh.
And this person was getting into substance abuse, getting there. So what we did was took her through an accelerated program. Instead of spending 10 weeks, we would do two sessions per week. And during this 5 weeks, the transformation began because what I noticed was she was one person who was taking action on every information. Like you mentioned earlier about the awareness. Like I'm not a person who will tell you, you have to do step 1 to 7.
Yeah.
And then if it doesn't work, I will come back and tell you, oh, you didn't do number 5. That's why it didn't work. I'm not, but what I'm trying to create is an awareness. And once that awareness is there, things just fall into place. So she had a lot of dreams and ambitions for herself, but she was so stuck in her work, she could not think anything out of that. So long story short, within 3 months of the coaching, definitely the dog, first thing was that the dog was groomed. The dog was happy, she was happy. In 3 months of the coaching, she signed up her first movie besides her work. So this is what she does. She's a movie actress. She's a stand-up comedian. She's a speaker. And she also does a lot of causes for people. Okay. So just imagine as an actress, recently she got nominated for the Best Actress Award in that specific part of Texas. Her calendar is completely full with stand-up comedy. She's getting paid to do what she does, and she loves to do that. She also had relationship issues. Now she's found the love of her life and she's going very strong on that. Her dogs are extremely happy. You can see she keeps on posting those pictures. So this is just one story like that, but we have seen so many of others. Not only depression, people are unable to manage their weight, and they are totally aware because as the weight increases, lifestyle diseases come in. So people have lost 10, 15, 20 pounds, and they're doing much, much better. People who had dreams and visions of their favorite, like one person in Bangalore, he had a dream bike in his mind. But according to his mindset, he would be able to get that bike only after 2 or 3 years or something like that. He had written in his diary. But that was in the initial part of the coaching. But after he finished coaching, I think within 2 months, he got that bike.
Wow.
So just by being able to manage yourself, you also learn how to manage your finances, you manage your time, and you get what you want. So this is not a think rich, get rich quick scheme or like that. This is about you are presented with information about yourself. And once you take action on the information, that is what leads to transformation.
Yes, exactly. It's like mostly lifestyle transformations and catering to your whole lifestyle, disciplining your whole lifestyle. And that gives the exact results that you want, and you become so productive in your life. Yeah. So yeah, amazing. Anything else that we miss out on you want to just share?
So I just want to say once again that definitely what I found is being a person from the corporate for over several decades, and also being part of large church organization and ministries. I've seen how our entire system, religion, be it our family system, be it our education system, and be it the corporate system, every system that is in place right now is actually putting people into bondages, into boxes. And I'm seeing the results that are coming out. I'm more and more determined to actually help people come out of these boxes. Think big. So yeah. I like this quotation from one of the influencers who said, if you're not thinking big for yourself, who is doing it for you? Nobody will do it for you. Yeah. So it all starts with me, and how can I help myself get there? Yeah.
Exactly. And what I personally have noticed is, as you said, people who are into corporate world and they are not into spirituality, and they will have so much focus on their work, but they'll neglect every other area of their life. So their relationship is in mess, their finances might be in mess, their a lot of things are in mess. Their health is in mess. Similarly, people who are into spirituality, like myself, also, I've seen so many of them just because they don't uh, focus on the other areas. Like only that area, the ministry will be blooming, growing, but health is in mess, relationship is in mess, and all the other areas are in mess. And what I believe is what the program that you uh, bring is, it brings a very balanced and a productive lifestyle in you.
Right.
I mean, what's the use of having the most successful ministry or being the most successful person in your work when your own health is in mess?
Right.
And even if you might not be achieving the goal, but you are having a kind of an awareness that at least puts you somewhere close to your goals.
Right.
So that's what I've seen. Even, I mean, one beautiful part of the program is literally setting the goal, 6 months time, 3 months time, 6 months time, 1 year time, 2 years time, 5 years time.
Yeah.
You understand? And even if I might not be able to achieve it in 3 months time, maybe I might achieve it in 1 year's time, just because of that awareness.
Yes.
Just because I put it on the paper, I put it down on the vision board, and
Yes.
that's one thing that you bring across. You help people, and that's amazing. Is to create a vision board. And put it down in the place that you can always see that. And so I personally, when I no matter, even if I want to avoid it, I can't avoid it. And when I see it, oh, this still needs to be done in my life.
Yeah.
And so I might not follow the schedule exactly, but somewhere, because of the awareness, I will still try to do something that takes me at least near to that goal.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So before we close up, would you want to speak something about the vision board, how important it is?
Yeah. So like the name says, it's your vision is right in front of you. What I believe is, I think everybody should have a vision board, and a one which is printed or even hand drawn or even with pictures stuck. It has to be there. There are two things. One is your personal vision board, and for people who are with families, they should have a family vision board. So what happens is, one is, it's a constant reminder to you. It's right in front of me here. So it's constant reminder to you of what you are there, and it, like you mentioned, it reminds you of your why.
Yeah.
Why you want to do what you want to do. It's also a reminder to the people around you. So, for example, your spouse or your child comes into your room, and it's a reminder to them. What happens is, when they are reminded, they will also partner with you to help you achieve your goal. So
absolutely,
this is like a twofold thing when the way it works, the vision board especially. And it's been really amazing, especially the time when I first put it up, and I can clearly see where I was a few years back and where I am now, and how I've progressed along the way. Yeah, it's
wow,
really amazing.
Yeah, it's truly amazing. I think the whole coaching program is so scientific, so systematic, and you as a coach you are amazing, Sam. So so yeah, people who are watching us on this interview, I'm surely recommending, if you guys really need to put things in place. Okay, might not be only your job, your career, or your business, but anything in your life, your relationships, your family, your health. I think you got to get a life coach, and Sam would be an amazing person. He is an amazing person to do this for you, to help you. And wonderful part of this whole thing is Sam doesn't tell what you need to do. He
Yeah.
brings you to self-realization. I think that's the most important thing. I personally got into a place of self-realization, and I realized.
Mhm.
So what Sam does is just helps you, becomes a catalyst to for you to get a self-realization, to
Yeah.
get your goals in place, to put your life in order. And there's so much amazing, so many amazing things that you will learn in this coaching program. So yeah, Sam, I'm personally really benefited, and I want to thank you also for being an amazing coach. uh,
So blessed that I could help and be of help. And as we continue this journey, I'm sure more and more people will be blessed and helped.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. So we are going to put the website and details of Sam, with the website details of Sam, coaching and everything, all the details in the description below. So you can check it out and contact him if you, I mean, not if, you surely need a coaching, life coaching. Every successful person, I believe, has a life coach, has a mentor. So go ahead and contact Sam. So
Yeah.
thank you, Sam, for
Thank you. It was a
giving
pleasure.
your time and really helping me. And I'm sure this podcast, this interview is really going to help many people who will watch.
It's been a
Yeah,
real pleasure talking to you, and I'm so glad that I could be of help to you also.
surely.
And we'll keep in touch and we'll talk soon. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Thank you, Sam. See you guys. Bye. Take care.